You know what? It definitely wasn't pretty, but I will take it. The Vancouver Canucks defeat the Anaheim Ducks by a final score of 2-1 as they propel themselves back into the win column. The scoreline doesn't do it justice, but the Vancouver Canucks very well could have won this game by a ton more goals if it weren't for Lukas Dostal. This guy was absolutely flawless, and I gotta give him credit for the way he played tonight. He impressed me. But anyways, the Canucks also had some bright spots in the lineup, including Nils Hoglander, who stepped up early on, and you had Vasili Podkolzin making his Canucks debut this season, and man, I absolutely love this player. So glad to have him back. He plays a lot like Joshua, the way he forechecks. He has a good shot. Still, a ton of potential for this player, and I hope he stays up with the big club because I really do think he could be a secret weapon going forward. But that being said, let's move on to the first period to discuss what went down in this hockey game. Early on, it's the Canucks who strike first. Look at how silky Quinn Hughes is as he dashes down to the goal line, and then he centers it and finds the big hog, Nils Hoglander, for his 19th goal of the season, puts it by Dostal, and the boys get on the board early, 1-0 for the Canucks. And man, it sure would be a shame if the Canucks lost this lead directly after getting it, right? Yeah, and that one was a pretty unfortunate one to give up there. Killorn gets on the board, bit of a lucky break, but the game is tied nonetheless. Later on, Pod had a good chance there, just missed there on the blocker side of Dostal. And then later on in the period, you can see here that Pod is up here with Lindholm. Lindholm feeds him a pass, but it's a bit too far in front of Pod, and then it gets tied up in the Duck player's skates. Pod fishes it out, fights off a couple checks, and then slides it over to Brock Besser, who has a good chance there and just misses there. It gets sucked up by Dostal. But anyone who has seen Podkolzin play, whether in the AHL or with the Canucks last year, knows that this guy fights for the puck. He works really hard, and Tocchet loves that type of player, so I hope he recognizes that and sees the value in keeping him in the lineup, because I really think that down the stretch here, he could act as a good spark plug to get the boys going again, kind of like how Joshua does it. So yeah, that's the way that the period ends, though. 1-1 tie, and now we move forward to the second. In the second period, the Vancouver Canucks showing off their cycle work, Miller over to Zadorov, and then Garland spins off his check. Big Z finds him, and then he taps it into the empty cage. A beautifully executed goal, and the boys go up 2-1 in this hockey game. After that, the Ducks put it on a little bit. They had some good chances off the post there. And then in the third period, they kept up with the high pressure, but the Vancouver Canucks said no. The Canucks honestly had a couple more chances to score, but Dostal was there to save it, and in the end, the Vancouver Canucks won it by a final score of 2-1. A bit of a low event game, but you know what? I will take that any day of the week over an exciting overtime loss. But anyways, the Canucks are back in the win column, and now we have two crucial games coming up against the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights. First up, we have LA, and a lot of people are wondering what the lineup should be. I really think you gotta play Pod with Miller and Besser. I have a weird feeling that Pod and Miller would play really well off of each other, and then once Joshua comes back, you reignite the Blueger-Garland-Joshua line. And after that's all said and done, you have yourself a really good forward core. I don't know what else you do beyond that because the trade deadline is coming up. Who do you acquire? We'll see who's there, and we'll see what the price tags are for certain players. I don't know if moving a ton of guys in and out before the playoffs is the right decision, but I trust JR and Patrick Allvin. I'll see what they have in store. Anyways, that's all from me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. And I also just wanted to say thank you so much for 7,000 subscribers. Your support honestly means so much to me, and we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Let's try and hit that by the end of the playoffs. That is my goal. But yeah, man, thank you guys so much. Peace out, and take care.